times that you've got an open space in front of you, they're not really guarding you tight, you have a chance to drive. What's your decision making? What about Boston? What about you? What you're doing that makes lead you to think I'm going to drive, or I'm just going to wait and shoot?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we know they're gonna collapse when we drive. So I think the biggest thing for me and what the coach has been talking about is once again the paint's playing off 2 feet. Whether that's a layup, going aggressive, or knowing that they're going to collapse and finding open shots. I think that's just the biggest thing going into these games.
Dante, you saw that shot Pritchard at the end of the third there. What's kind of players' thoughts on those shots? I know some people think like, oh, just hold it, don't shoot it. He obviously is the guy who wants to shoot that. Like, what's it kind of like in those situations at the end of quarters where you're just kind of balling it up?
Yeah, no, I think I'm a guy that no matter the situation in any game, I'm always gonna try and put up that shot. Like you like it happened that other game. I think it was an important basket for them. Kind of cut the momentum a little bit going into the quarter. But yeah, it's I think a lot of the times it's shots that we practice a little bit and throwing it up. I think we're good enough players to make it, and he obviously got lucky on that one. So
how many times in your career have you hit one of those?
I've hit a few. Mine are mostly deep, past half court.
What's it like practicing that? You just kind of toss them out from half court?
No, actually, last year I actually kind of went through a thing with one of my teammates about kind of a process of what I would do to shoot, and I think he was kind of a launch type, and I'm a shoot. I'll stop off two and kind of shoot and aim it.
Who's that teammate?
Yam Madar.
In game two, you guys took out their three. You almost had Gafford and D-Live up away by the three-point line, and the attitude was, we'll worry about rim protection when we have to. Was that the sort of the thought there, just to take away the three?
Yeah, obviously they're a team that shoots a lot of threes, and I think the biggest thing for us is making sure that they're all contested. And to our credit, they didn't shoot the ball as well. But I think credit to Live and Gafford, they're playing in a role where they have to defend out on the perimeter. But as much as we can get them back to the basket, we will.
Are you giving them any tips how to guard in the perimeter?
No. I think they have enough guys talking to them. I think it's a lot of process. We're watching a lot of film and making sure. But I'm confident in their ability.
I was just asking Derek Lively about being mic'd up a lot. He's got it a few times, and he said that the teammates, he has to make sure to remind teammates not to say anything too wild. Is that actually how it goes down?
No. I mean, some people get lost in the emotion of everything, and yeah, you have to kind of remind guys to, hey, like, I am mic'd up, but I think it's just the moment and everything, and even mic'd up or not, I think guys, we're gonna say what we want to say, but I'm always pretty calm, so I won't say too much.
He said like they clearly the mic'd up people, whoever they are, keep coming back to him. What does that say about just his vocalness and who he is on the court and who he's been since he entered the building?
Yeah, I think even today, obviously you guys weren't in here, and we're doing our walkthrough, and I think everyone's kind of in a focused, kind of quiet mindset. And he was like, no, like, guys, let's talk, like, energy. And I think just to see that from a rookie, I know I wasn't doing that. I don't even do that now, but just to see that from him, and I think that's just his personality, who he is, and I think it's great. And hopefully he can build on that and be the guy that we need.
You guys have been talking about your need to communicate more on defense too. Is that something that he can also help with? Just the fact that he's obviously your big man, but he's a natural talker as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest thing is if we get our bigs back to the basket in the paint, they're seeing the whole floor and kind of can be that leader and talk to everyone and make sure everyone's in the right position. But it's something that I think he's going to get better and better at, and just realize that's going to be a part of his game.
And I also wanted to ask you about the pass that Luka made to you at the end of the third quarter. When you're in a situation like that, he really only gets like one glimpse at you maybe. How do you approach that? Like, are you thinking like, don't move, relocate in that situation?
Yeah, I think it's been a thing kind of all season, and I've made the mistake many times of moving, but I think just kind of having that basketball IQ of knowing where Luka thinks I'm going to be. I think that's the most important thing, and just staying there. I had a possession in Minnesota where I kind of moved and it was a turnover. So I think just kind of playing to where he thinks I'm going to be. That's the most important part.
Dante, since you have an experience of playing overseas for Partizan Belgrade, the region where we come from, now getting back to the NBA, how much the game in the States has become international or was affected by international players in your opinion?
Yeah, I think even there's a lot of international players in the NBA. I still think it's still like an NBA game. The game over there is a lot of sets. Over here, it's a lot of ISO defending. But I think obviously my experience over there was amazing, and it's taught me a lot coming back to here, things that I can implement. So,
What do you think? How would Jelko try to guard Boston and their three-point shot?
He would just yell at us and say just get out there. No, I think the biggest thing about it and what we're going through now is we get time to kind of 2 days in between games to adjust, and over there it's usually like 3 or 4 sometimes. So we had a lot of time to adjust and kind of have a game plan, and that's what you see here. But I think he'd be doing a lot of the similar things that we are doing here.
This team play a little bit faster early in the season. Playoffs, everything that kind of slows down. The switching obviously is going to drag it into the mud. Do you guys want to play at a faster pace to try and get them in transition cross matches? Do you want to slow it down to let Luka do his thing? Like, where's the pace that you guys want to be at in the series?
Yeah, I think, you said it. I think the thing is we can play at both paces, but I think we do want to play at a high pace and kind of push it, get them cross match as much as possible, and then when we need to slow it down, we have that option of Luka, doing his thing and pulling it out. I think that's some of the hardest basketball to guard with Luka in that kind of pick and roll, but also too when we get out. So, to our credit, we can play both ways, but I think it's better when we play in a mix of both.
Is it somehow maybe less a matter of like pace? We talk about fast break points. Is it more tempo, getting into sets earlier so that you can get a sense for where they're at?
Yeah, I think when you push the pace and get the ball over by 21 seconds, it gives your offense a bit more to kind of find who do we want to attack, what do we want to do, and more time for Luka at the end of the shot clock too. Instead of 5 seconds on the shot clock, it's 10 seconds. So I think that's important, to our pace, not only just getting a layup or an open shot early, but just kind of flatten the defense and then attack from there.
Dante, how you doing? This is for NBA Latin America, where especially from Argentina, from Australia, to be in a finals as an international player. How do you feel? You saw many years ago, I don't know, guys like Ginobili, Nene from Brazil, or now it's Horford, whatever, and you're from Australia. Do you feel that confidence from your country, and what is it special to be an international guy in the NBA finals?
Yeah, you see the amount of international guys on our team. It's a lot, and I think it's just an international game, and I know both me and Josh Green feel the love back home and the support that they want us to take this, and we've had some guys that have won. Obviously, Delhi, Patty, Baines, Bogut, guys that have won. They're hungry.
You have a great team.
Yeah,
Australia has a great team, of course. Enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. We're excited for Paris this summer, and it's going to be I think the most competitive international basketball we've ever seen. So.
And last one, very quick. You talk about faster game, the threes that you couldn't make it, the switches in the defense in Boston. For you, which one has to be the biggest adjustment for tomorrow in a game like that at home?
Yeah, I think it's keeping everything under control. Obviously, being 2 down, not being overexcited over trying to make every shot. That's just not the game of basketball. But I think if we get the play our right way, and we have been getting uncontested shots and just being relaxed and hitting those shots, I think we'll be fine.
Which one would be the right way for Dallas?
Say again?
Which one would be the right way to play for Dallas?
I think just keeping the pace up and then and then playing to our advantage. We know everything that they're going to do. They know everything that we're going to do. So I think playing to our advantage and knowing how we can attack them, which we've been working on. So.
Thank you, man.
Dante, I know you guys are obviously playing for a bigger goal, but your first Father's Day is coming up. Has that hit you yet? How are you feeling?
Oh yeah, I actually totally forgot. Is that when's that? Sunday?
Sunday.
I totally forgot. Hopefully they've got something planned for me, but I'm not too worried. I think just being able to wake up and see her, that's enough for me.
I know she's too young to understand it, but as she gets older, what will you tell her about living this experience, competing in the finals?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is setting goals. Having a dream big enough that you can kind of work towards it, and pursue it your whole life, and it's going to be achievable. I think that's the biggest thing, and just to keep working for it.
I'm not going to ask you about game plan questions.
Last one.
I'm not going to ask you about game plan questions, but versus Minnesota, you guys ran a ton of double screen stuff, and it was really successful at double drag screens, stuff like that. Haven't seen that much at all this series. Is there anything about how Boston defends front line or back line that makes that more difficult?
Yeah, I think they do a lot of switching. So, I mean, we've done a bit where we kind of get some switches out that we want. And yeah, it's definitely something that we can look into growing a bit more. But I think getting into more of a flow of an offense and, not kind of just getting a first switch and then attacking that. Sometimes we need to get through a bit of offense and make them defend a bit.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.